Last session, our adventurers found themselves in the midst of absolute chaos, as the guest of honor at the awaited execution, the fake Priestly Montegor, had escaped from his jail carriage on the way to the gallows. With news of his escape and the subsequent panic spreading like wildfire, Roshana helped to direct the distressed commoners and noblemen who were waiting to watch the execution out of the public's pit, while Rook's falcon and Kato's owl swooped over the crowd, looking for suspicious fellows and fiends respectively. Vayne snapped out of his stupor after having his mind permeated by the strange voice and presence of not Montegor, and turned to Luxon, who instructed him to find Tserik, which he reiterated was part of Vayne's test. Rook casted Locate Object specifically on fake Montegor's shirt that he was wearing inside the cell, but nothing pinged off within the confines of the spell. Vayne and Rook ran forward towards the gallows, hopping over the small barricade to reach the guards scrambling around behind the platform and near the empty carriage. You spoke with the Corvain who had acted as the carriage driver as to who saw fake Montegor last, and were told that he was picked up at the Western Gatehouse. A convoy of guards had surrounded the carriage as well, and escorted it to the gallows to dissuade interference and attempts at escape. Given these efforts proved futile, Rook pushed past the guards to inspect inside the closed-top carriage, and deemed it certainly empty, after a thorough examination. Looking about at the escorting guards on horseback, who've now galloped round to look for fake Monty, Vayne inquired with the Corvain as to the leader of the guards, to which the Corvain replied that they answered to Inspector Prickett, who had not yet arrived for the execution. As if on cue, Roshana managed to grab Prickett's hand as he was weaving past the startled crowd in the gallows pen. He apologized for his tardiness and informed you that his right-hand man, Simon, had been found murdered within his bed. The very Simon who had bribed you earlier to free fake Monty, and who had apparently worked for this Tserik individual. Unfortunately, between a Locate Object spell on fake Montegor's shirt, a See Invisibility spell to look for magically cloaked creatures, and a Detect Magic spell to scan the area, you could not seem to find a bead on the missing Monty. Inspector Prickett pulled the guards round into a huddle to issue orders, while the party regrouped. It was becoming increasingly apparent that the fake Monty, or Tserik, had pulled one over on everyone in his escape, and with no way to know what he was wearing or what he even looked like, it would be unlikely that you would find him at this time. After the guards broke their meeting to begin their coordinated search, Rook spoke to Inspector Prickett regarding Simon's plan to forge a way out for Montegor, using forged paperwork and the money Vayne had collected. Inspector Prickett was completely unaware of Simon's underhanded dealings. This, and Simon's very recent demise, led him to presume that the Shapechanger's acquaintances may have already infiltrated the guards and helped in his escape. You expressed that you still have a heavily invested interest in finding the missing Shapechanger, and Rook and Prickett both came to a cautious agreement to keep each other in the loop. However, given that you had both shared and kept valuable information with and from the guards, Prickett was sure to stress that finding the missing Shapechanger was most certainly in your best interest, and that any funny business on the party's end would face consequence, and that your freedom may be on the line if the Shapechanger cannot be found. As a token of trust, Rook told Inspector Prickett of the magical shard he kept within his star map, and that this information would be useful to distinguish each other when they next meet. Vayne also had a brief and tense encounter with the Inspector, before you decided it best to part ways and return to the search. Kato managed to convince the reluctant Vayne to give up the immediate search in order to regroup. With an unknown amount of time on Tserik's side, and an unknown amount of distance travelled, it did seem that it would be near impossible to find him, but you would still have to try. As Rook pointed out, you did have the advantage of this individual's hubris and his obsession with Vayne on your side. It was at this point that Vayne told you all of the voice he heard within his head, and that Luxon had instructed him after to find Tserik, and that this, referring to the entire situation, was a test. Duroy at this point was nowhere to be seen, and your suspicions of him grew. Roshana recalled that you had seen Duroy in 2 separate places simultaneously, so it wouldn't be wise to rule out his possible involvement. Kato also wondered if Deuce, the leader of the Smiling Blades, who was very unhappy with Kato's telepathic abilities, had possibly thought that he was the Shapechanger, given that Tserik was able to communicate with Vayne just then. deeming it foolish for a convict to stick around in the area with most guards, you decided to halt your search for the time being, opting instead to gather information either at the guild or maybe even down in the underbelly at the Smiling Blades hangout. You opted for the former first. Back at the guild, you checked in with Clerk to figure out which guild heads were available to speak with, and learned that Fern Fiddlehead was in the Nature Sanctuary. Luxon, however, was unavailable at this time. You also checked in on the quest front and learned that there were 2 quests available. One, a special delivery of goods from teas and toxins, needed to be sent out with a party, and 2, which was looking for strapping, brave, and competent adventurers to help the patron who was to meet the willing party at the Hairy Lemon Tavern. The 1,000 gold piece reward for the second quest seemed tempting, but you reminded yourselves that other issues were a priority right now. Vayne did make a quick stop at Zulahan's Head to check in with Bal about the location of Baz and Luxon, and if he knew who Tserik was, which he responded with the negative on all fronts. You headed over to the Nature Sanctuary to speak with Fern, and recounted to her the mishap this morning at the gallows and the presence of a murderous shape-changer within the city. On asking for her advice, Fern told you that shape-changers, ironically, come in all kinds of shapes and sizes, and their origins, strengths, and weaknesses vary as well. Lycanthropes can turn into wolves, druids can turn into beasts, certain fiends and aberrations can turn their forms to look humanoid. It is very difficult to determine, however, who is a shape-changer without using a trial by the Moonbeam spell, which can lead to death regardless of shape-changer status or not. She did suggest, however, that Professor Gilmore might have some more knowledge about the subject, and that there might be some notes on shape-changers within the library. You also asked about Luxon's abilities, given that he and Fern had travelled together in the past. Fern explained that Luxon is adept with a crossbow, is very sly and deceptive, and has an affinity for darkness and the cold. On asking if Luxon could duplicate himself, Fern was uncertain, but did know that Luxon and Baz, who can also disguise himself, do work together. After gathering what info you could, you decided to head over to the library. Vayne did stop briefly at the research building to see if Professor Darcel was present, but left once he learned she was in the Arcane District currently. Within the library, you were confronted by shelves upon shelves of books, and numerous tables where people were talking quietly. One grey-skinned, older gentleman caught your attention, Rook, as he was reading very intently at one of the many individual desks set out. When you tried to speak with him, however, you found that your voice and any noise that you made was silenced. You eventually garnered this man's attention, who then pointed at the owl statue nearest him. You quickly learned that a zone marked out by these owl statues seemed to be under the influence of a spell that prohibited any noise within. Not getting anywhere with the gentleman or determining what he was reading, Rook flagged down one of the attendees, who told him about the social etiquette and expectation within the library, the sorting schema of the books, and he also mentioned that these books were collected by Professor Gilmore in his lifetime, that he felt were useful, or ones that he had written himself. You then asked for the section, or book, on shape-changers, to which the attendee said would be difficult to find given the nature of the beast, but would return when he had found something. Meanwhile, Kato headed over to Suit and Arms to collect his mithril armor, after having thrown 1,000 gold pieces at the clerk earlier this morning. The group gathered together within the library while waiting for the attendee to return, and she thought through the potential avenues for finding Tserik. Vayne also asked one of the attendees to find a book on the subject of Tserik, which did baffle her, but she went looking nonetheless. You discussed the options and resources available to you, including Larima, Vayne's seer friend, to possibly divine Tserik's location, as well as the possibility of using Vayne as bait to lure out the shape-changer. You also questioned Tserik's motive for taking over Monty's personage, and if there was something Tserik was after that you could use to push him out into the open. Eventually, the attendee returned with a book containing an interview that Professor Gilmore had conducted with the shape-changer during his travels in Erelis. The attendee also explained that his research provided 2 other shape-changer types that fit the humanoid to humanoid category: doppelgangers and changelings. Kato asked if either had telepathic abilities, and while the doppelganger can read surface-level thoughts of an individual, the attendee was unaware of any other capabilities of the mind further than that. Rook took the book that was offered and sat in the silent study zone, while Vayne waited for his book on Tserik. And Kato and Roshana headed over to Clerk to inquire about a meeting with Professor Gilmore. Unfortunately, the professor would not be available until after the weekend, but set up an appointment early on Kilar'une. Back in the library, having read the interview and handing back the book, Rook deemed that your shape-changer was likely a doppelganger, as they tended to be more malevolent in nature compared to their changeling counterpart. Some doppelgangers were known to keep their victims captive and probe their minds daily to learn more about them and keep up the ruse, which certainly fit the narrative of the real Montagore's demise. Vayne also questioned if the real Simon had faced a similar fate, as a doppelganger would need a lot of information to portray themselves as a high-ranking guard. Nevertheless, you felt it prudent to determine for sure which variant this Tserik fit. Kato, Rook and Roshana met up at Clerk's and discussed taking the first job offered on the quest board, as the pickup point, Teas and Toxins, was just around the corner. However, as you went to inquire with Clerk, you learned that the job had already been taken in the time since you last visited the gatehouse. After a bit of back and forth, you coaxed Vayne out from the library, as he was still waiting for his book on Tserik to arrive, and you decided to head down into the catacombs. After delving down the staircase in the Noel's Belly Button Ring Tavern, you made your way to the area you last saw the marketplace set up. It was quiet as you went down. However, you did have an encounter with an eyeless figure shrouded by a black cloak. You thought better to engage with this creature and continued on towards the Smiling Blades hangout. After a quiz by the orc bouncer outside the hangout concerning the name of the Smiling Blades boss, you were granted entry inside, where you found Luxon, Deuce and Baz stood about talking, and seemingly waiting for you to join them. There was some obvious tension between Deuce and Luxon as you joined into the fold. Luxon started the conversation by proposing to Deuce that they use you lot to find Tserik and retrieve the missing item. You learned from Deuce that Tserik used to be a member of the Smiling Blades, that he used to work for Luxon as a great but arrogant assassin, and that Tserik had taken something belonging to Deuce a number of years ago. He had wanted to have Tserik killed at that time, but Luxon decided to keep him alive and exile him instead so that they could figure out where the missing item was sometime later. At this point, Luxon introduced Vayne to Deuce, describing him, to Vayne's delight, as promising, and that Vayne reminded him of Deuce when he was younger. Miffed, Deuce inquired as to what Vayne could do. Rook took the opportunity to ask Deuce whether he was a shape-changer, in the hopes of catching him off guard, would make him reveal the secret if true. Unfortunately, it wasn't, but it was worth a try. On growing impatient at Vayne's stalling, Deuce threw a dagger, which pierced Vayne's chest, the damage compounded by this electrifying pain that coursed through his entire nervous system, rendering Vayne unconscious. Roshana quickly stabilized Vayne and healed him, just as he turned invisible and made to shank Deuce with his own dagger. Deuce caught him at the very last second and knocked the dagger clean from his hands, before Vayne called him a prick, a vicious mockery, which unfortunately did not land. Vayne realized that the attack Deuce had struck him was with something that he was capable of doing as well, though definitely not quite as strong yet. After handing the blade back to Vayne, Deuce questioned Luxon again about his plan, given your supposed competency. Luxon explained that he hoped that you all and Vayne would find Tserik, kill him, and for Vayne to take on his form, so that he could learn the location of the missing object. Rook pressed further, and Deuce revealed that one of his own capabilities, which Luxon foresees in Vayne, is to take the illusory appearance of an individual killed and garner their surface thoughts and memories. On questioning Luxon's connection to Tserik, you brought up whether Luxon had spoken telepathically to Vayne this morning, to which Luxon smiled and said that it seems Tserik has found you already. It was at this point that Deuce asked Vayne if he was up to the challenge to take on someone's form, and alluded that he was already aware that Vayne had it in him to kill someone. Confused, he watched as Grimsby, the seshling minding the goblin children in the dilapidated Montagore's Magic Emporium, entered the hangout. Grimsby stated that you all did help out with the sea hag situation that the goblin children had embroiled themselves in, but also mentioned that Vayne had tried to kill one of the children by drowning. Vayne's joking defense was quickly shot down by everyone, and Deuce informed you that while they tried to treat everyone equally in the hangout, that he would quickly drop you under if you stepped out of line, and that it is something else entirely to harm a child. Vayne mustered the courage to say that Tserik had taken one of the people that he was closest to, and had tortured him to death, that he felt it was only fair to return the favour to Tserik. To Grimsby, Vayne whispered that he had a coffer hidden down in the old sea hag's lair, filled with money specifically for the children to give them a better life, as a form of apology. With everything they were willing to share aired, Luxon said that you had your task at hand, and that you would be greatly rewarded for completing the task. He also mentioned offhand to Deuce that it was high time that the Smiling Blades did something with the shop. Deuce left shortly after. You pressed Luxon for some more tangible leads to follow. However, Luxon said that Tserik lost much respect and favour after he betrayed Deuce and the Blades, and that he likely didn't have many friends in the city to rely on. Tserik was arrogant and covetous, taking Deuce's item to lord it over him, which led to his downfall. He also explained, when asked, that he didn't believe that Tserik had an obsession with Montagor, other than he was an easy target for him and had some connections in the city that Tserik could potentially have cashed in. He also did not think that Tserik was protected by divination magic, but he might have gotten a new gadget since. On a different note, you did ask about Montague Montagor, Priestley's brother, and whether the Blades had a connection to him in the past. Grimsby piped up and explained that they did have a deal in the past, wherein the Blades would get first dibs to purchase items enchanted by Montague. Unfortunately, Montague decided to go back on that deal when he had a dalliance with the Claw, and so the Blades ran him out of his shop. They assured you that they had no lingering feelings towards Montague, seeing as he was going to be in another part of the city. Before Luxon left, Vayne confronted him about his supposed mistake in letting Tserik free, which inadvertently led to him killing Priestley Montagor in order to get back into the city, and whether he had any remorse or sorrow for Priestley's death. Luxon stated that there was no mistake in releasing Tserik, and that if Vayne wanted his vengeance, he should go out and take it. Luxon gave you all the vote of confidence in that he was entrusting this task to each of you, as he knew you could do it, and that he would not bother otherwise. After Luxon left, you hung around in the hangout, chatting to Baz about Deuce, Tserik, and Luxon. Baz made it a point to tell Vayne to avoid letting Luxon get his claws too deep into him. You kept an eye out for anyone who could possibly be called Tserik when Kato's owl spotted the same fiend from the previous night sat in the hangout. After a quick word with Baz, Rook paid for another round of the fiend's drinks and went over there to apologise for his uncouth behaviour. She seemed to accept it, introduced herself as Sabina, and after a bit of back and forth, offered to keep each other in the loop. Back at the bar, Kato lost another arm wrestle to Roshana. However, the arm wrestle battle between Rook and Vayne garnered much tension as your arms swayed back and forth, until finally Vayne won the game. Dugram, the fiery-haired and bearded dwarven gentleman who organises the fighting pit, chatted to you for a bit after the match, and said that he was looking forward to seeing you back in the fighting pit. After an uneventful few hours, you returned to the guild in the hopes of being more productive, taking on the remaining quests from the board and heading out to the Royal Sea Bank Lane, wherein you found the Hairy Lemon Tavern. Inside, you asked the turtle barkeep Bernard for Carol, the name mentioned in the quest. Bernard slid over a note which stated that, should any adventurers have arrived, that your future employers would like to meet you on the morrow, and that they have paid rooms for you. Rook grabbed the keys and checked out each of the individual rooms for assassins before returning downstairs to find that Vayne was hammered on rum and hammering away on the piano. Soon the seafaring patrons booed you Vayne from the piano, and with an extra shot of rum, you headed upstairs to sleep, only to realise, once you had hopped on the bed, that you were not alone in your room, as a hooded, masked and cloaked gentleman wielding a frying pan was stood over you. After giving him the finger guns, Vayne was knocked unconscious. When he awoke, Vayne found himself in a cold and dark room, with his hands bound behind his back, propped up in a chair. From the darkness, you could hear the words, "So good of you to join me." Meanwhile, Roshana and Rook had headed up to their rooms, while Kato remained downstairs to take in the ambiance. After about 20 minutes of setting up his own room, Rook brought his pillow over to Vayne's to crash on the floor for the night, only to find that Vayne was nowhere to be found. And that is where we will pick up. Okay, so Vayne, you've just been whipped away. Rook, you've basically just opened up the door to Vayne's room and you've noticed that he is gone. So I'll move you to the map now. Doop-a-doop-boo-boo. Doop-a-doop-boop. Where is it? There it is. Okay. Rook, you have just headed upstairs. Went into your room, put your things away. Spent about 20 minutes or so just setting yourself up, and before you headed in for the night, you decided to check on Vayne one last time. However, as you open the door, you find that he is nowhere within his room.
Is, like, the window open? Is there any...
Window is not open.
Is the bed made? Is it in shambles? Like, is there...
The bed itself, it looks like somebody was just on it. Like it's been ruffled a little bit, but like somebody has dove onto the bed just to bounce on it for a few times and then... no longer there.
Vayne, are you invisible? Vayne.
No response.
I'll walk out and I'll go over to Roshana's door and knock on it.
Open my door.
Hey, Roshana,
Mm-hmm.
have you seen Vayne?
No, I have not. He's not in his room?
I just checked his room and it looks like he was in bed, but there's no one there now.
That's weird.
Yeah, I'm gonna go check with Kato to see if he's seen Vayne come down the stairs. If not, I think we have a problem.
Yeah, that's like it.
And Rook will start heading downstairs.
Alrighty. Just in time as well, Kato came back.
Kato,
Yeah?
after I went upstairs, did you see Vayne come downstairs?
No?
Did you see, and he'll do like quotation marks, anyone that you couldn't see come down the stairs? You know what I mean.
Yes, I know what you mean. And no.
Vayne is not in his room.
What?
Vayne, you know, horns purple.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's not in. He went to his room. I saw him go in. I went into my room for a bit, and then I went to check on him. He's not there.
Immediately bolts upstairs.
I follow.
Okay. You'll...
Where are the stairs? There they are.
Where are the stairs?
You both run back upstairs again. You see Roshana standing in the doorway. This narrow little corridor, Vayne's door is just open now from where Rook left it.
I just dart right in and start looking for tracks or clues.
Cluing for looks. Okay. Give me a... Is it tracks specifically you're looking for, or just clues in general?
Just clues in general.
Okay, give me an investigation check, please.
Can I help?
You may certainly do so.
I guide him.
Oh, thank God.
You guide him.
Guide! I'll take it, I guess.
D4. That's a double digits, my guy.
I help you as well. I can help as a bonus action.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. So, another roll?
And
Is that a... With the bonus
just
action, which is a...
it's the Fey gift.
Yeah.
You can take the help action as a bonus action.
Oh, okay. Great.
I'm also going to give him some temporary hit points to both of us as well, just while I'm at it,
Okay.
because it's how it works.
Yeah. Go for it. Much better.
Yeah.
Take 8 temporary hit points.
That's very nice.
Damn.
You're good to go.
Go get him, my little guy.
Okay, so you take a look around, Kato, and you see most of Vayne's stuff is still here. Anything that wasn't specifically on his person has been kind of left down to the ground. So you find his viol, you found his lute. Did Vayne have a backpack or something like that? I forget.
Yeah, he's got like a little.
Not quite the fanny pack that Rook has, but his little
No.
backpack is there as well. Kind of left to the side of the bed. As you're looking around, there isn't tracks per se. Honestly, it looks like this room has kind of been left untouched. The only thing that could potentially mean something is the latch of the window hasn't been redone.
What?
So someone had opened it
Window.
and then closed it, but not done the latch.
I opened the
Oh.
window.
You see down
Does
into a small alleyway.
Looks like Vayne's been taken.
And I'm willing to bet we know who.
Yeah.
Okay. He just sort of like pinches the bridge of his nose. How long ago did you notice this?
As soon as I came into the room, there was maybe between when I put him, or when we both came upstairs to when I checked the room, was roughly 20 minutes. And then I immediately went to Roshana and then to you.
20 minutes. How far is the guild from here?
It's not the furthest, but it's still a couple of hours, I think.
Yeah.
Because, like, we're up here.
Yep.
I mean,
Can your owl send a message?
my owl.
Yes.
Oh, do you want to have my owl bring a message to Clark to send a message to Vayne?
Yes.
I mean, that's an option too.
My owl can exist for. Let me check. Let me remember. For 2 hours. So I'm not
2
sure if
hours.
they could go there as the owl flies, which is quicker in this game than it should be, but we won't get into that.
What's the owl speed?
60 feet.
60 feet, so that is 6
Per-
miles an
six-
hour.
60 feet.
Yeah, it wouldn't make it, unfortunately, unless I can try and get off
That's
the very edge.
10.
It's just with how, quote unquote, fast travel, it's not fast, but quote unquote fast travel works in this game. You take the feet divided by 10, and then that's how many miles you've got per hour.
No, okay.
I mean, on my best day, I probably will walk 3 miles an hour just because I'm lazy, but that's beside the point. I think adventurers would travel further.
Self-burn.
But we'll stick with the rules just because it keeps things consistent.
Good luck.
My brain is mush now because of the Miles talk.
Mm-hmm. I don't like it either.
We don't know much about this entity, but presumably there's only so far they can get while carrying a body unnoticed. We should
True.
head into the alley and look for either tracks or perhaps there's a way down into the system below. Look, this person worked with the blades. They probably knew all sorts of ways to come up in this
Right.
side of town. We should have asked about that at the time.
How big is the jump from the window?
Yep, I'm gonna jump.
How high?
No. I'm still looking how high it is.
Okay, it's let's say about 15 feet from the window down.
I'm
Yeah,
still
let's
taking
let's try that.
Oh my god. Okay.
Oh,
No, my temporary hit points.
I'm getting flashbacks. Traumatic flashbacks.
Yeah, okay. You only take the 1 point of
Me
bludgeoning.
too, Roshana. Me
Very
too.
lucky.
Kato, catch me.
We don't speak like that.
What?
Okay.
Wait, you said. Hold on. You said 1 point.
1 point of bludgeoning from jumping down.
All right. Thank you. Temporary hit points.
Okay, I'll show you
Kato,
the
Who?
back alley.
catch me, Kato. And I jump.
I'll also jump.
Oh my god! Wait, no, wait. I don't know who to use. I don't know who to do. Oh god.
Please, for Vayne's sake, try and catch Roshana.
The heavy armor just
5'5" hobgoblin or 5'8" ironclad woman. Oh, decisions.
Well, here I go falling.
All right, fine. I'll help.
I mean, I've got
I'll help.
10 hit points. You can let me fall if you want.
No, it's fine. I'll help Rook down telekinetically. I'll try and catch Roshana. Surely this can only go well.
Oh my god. Yeah, braver than me, my guy. Okay. Just give me an athletics check to catch Roshana.
Oh, this is clearly my session, guys.
Yep.
This
Roshana, you
clear-
jump down and basically just booty crash Kato into the ground.
But I was a soft landing. Thank you, Kato.
Nothing like
Stand up.
nothing like the soft, pillowy landing of Mithril.
Gotta love that armor.
At least it was a quiet landing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my own armor, on the other hand.
Yeah. Bong!
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks. I'll help Kato up.
Okay, let's go.
Oh.
Where's sewers?
I am going to bonus action starry form.
Okay.
Into the dragon constellation.
Ooh. Very nice.
And I'm gonna start looking around for like tracks or anything that would give me the impression of like a body being carried.
Okay. Give me a survival check, please.
All right. For your can I guide myself?
You can, certainly.
Okay, I will guide myself, and for your own reference, the dragon constellation makes it so that whenever I make a wisdom or intelligence check or a constitution saving throw to maintain concentration, I can treat a roll of 9 or lower as a 10.
Very nice.
So I will roll that, and that I rolled a 10, which is interesting. So 20.
Very nice. Yeah. You're taking a look around, and you do definitely see some footprints. They're moving from where you're standing over in this direction.
Follow me. I think I've got something. And I'll point them out to Kato and Roshana and start begin moving. What are these guys?
They look to be lavatories. Little outhouses. And as you approach, there is definitely a pong in the air as they all seem to be kind of gathered around this one little sewer grate that isn't exactly the best kept. But you watch as the footsteps go past them.
Oh, thank God.
And it's here that you notice that there are a couple of footsteps now on the ground, but they're all surrounding what looks to be a set of grooves in the ground where a cart has been pulled.
Okay, how did he do that?
Hmm.
How is a Rook in between 4 spaces?
I'm great at games. Also, if you hold Alt, you can place yourself on not full squares. Look at me go. Look at all these places I can stand in.
The more you know.
That way I don't need to stand on bars.
Oh my god.
So yeah, there's a cart track that seems to be making its way out of this alley.
Yep, down this way. Towards the main street.
I think they have a cart. I'll follow the tracks out to the very end.
Yep.
Am I able to see them, or do they start to blend into other?
They make a diagonal turn like this way, following the
Okay.
main road this way, and at this point the tracks do become blurred. Just from other foot traffic and the main street itself being kept cleaner than the alleyways.
Well, I'd kick myself if I didn't try. I will cast locate object on Vayne's necklace.
Okay, very nice. Throw her up there.
Mm-hmm.
Expanding your essence out into the nature around you. There's certainly a lot more urban setting than you're used to. You search for this little silver necklace that Vayne carries around his neck, containing a small vial that he is every now and then uncorked to let a small little whiff, or waft, I should say, of perfume out. Unfortunately, your spell doesn't ping anything. Stay close by, at least within the mile.
I don't feel anything at the moment. We should follow this road, see if it changes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Is there anyone like sitting out front of the like inn? Like, is there any people that look like they may have been out for a while? Be it like someone drunkenly up against a wall, or if there's like stalls or
You do
stuff
see
like
a
that.
gentleman is sat out here. Oh, wrong one? Sat out front, currently seems to be smoking something or other. I didn't want to be filling up the bar air with it.
Mhm. Yeah, fair. Just 1 second, guys. I'll run over to them. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Did you happen to see a cart pull out of that alley up there within the last 20 minutes or so?
You see cast a gaze in that direction. No cart, no.
Anything noteworthy?
There's a carriage with some fancy horses.
Oh, that would be it. Did it have any insignia on it or anything that give it who or where it might be going?
No, didn't really pay much attention other than the horses were nice, going in that direction. And he points down the way that you just came down. So, this way. Thought it was a bit
Thank you.
strange. You're nearby.
Yes. Very strange. What color was the cart?
Carriage is black.
Does it? Does the carriage that that Luxon like rented for us, that was like a fancy black carriage, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right. Thank you for your time, and I'll hand him a silver.
Ooh. Thank you. Waves his hand
And
to you.
I'll nip up. It looks like a fancy-looking carriage with fancy horses pulled out of here within the last 20 minutes, heading north. As we head up, keep an eye out for any carriage like that.
Yeah.
Start making our way north with a hurried pace.
Oh,
Yep.
okay. It was pretty late when you all decided to head up to bed. Vayne had spent a few hours at the piano, playing not at his best, but he was a bit scattered, so that was happening. But yeah, so it's pretty cold right now. You do feel the wind is starting to pick up a little bit. You begin marching down this long street. Is there anything in particular that you're looking for?
I suppose we're keeping an eye out for any of these carriages that maybe looks like they pulled in. If we end up like passing like a stall, or like if there's like a dock or a port that has line of sight on the main thoroughfare, ask around for people that may have been out for a while to see if they've seen it, to see if they've taken any corners.
Mm-hmm. Great. Well, as you continue on down this road, you see that it is long. There's just a few people out, but they seem to be, closing up for the day. Those in the businesses and those in the houses, they're battening down the shutters and whatnot. If you continue on, it's about another 2 hours before you reach the end of this walkway here. Where you see, in the distance, docks. Where numerous ships have pulled in.
Is there any dock workers that are like out on the near the main road at the moment?
Seems to be one or two. They're very much just standing like either side of the dock and just keeping watch. Nobody seems to be taking off at this time of night. At least nobody is planned to. But they've kind of just been left there as kind of as security.
Yeah.
Just make sure
I'll run up to both of them.
Mhm.
Excuse me.
Yes?
Have you two been out keeping watch for long?
Been here a couple of hours.
Did you see on that main road coming up from the south a black carriage with pulled by fancy-looking horses?
They share a look between them. Can't say that we have. No.
You're certain? A friend of ours could be in a lot of trouble.
Sorry to hear that, but no. Fancy
Does
horses.
Fancy horses, like the black carriages you might sometimes see tick off from.
No, if we saw that, we'd definitely remember it.
Do I get any indication that they're trying to hide information from me?
You can give an insight check.
My assist.
You can, certainly. You can either roll your own or give advantage to Rook.
I'm not doing so hot, so I'll give him a vin.
Well,
Oh my god!
Wow.
what have you done to me? No,
Now
I
I'm scared to roll anything.
Kato's like, good, it's yours now. Here's the curse. Look at Vayne.
I'm sorry, Vayne.
Help!
I'm just gonna go get my water.
I'll take the 10.
Yep. They seem forthright. They're not trying to hide anything. They're trying to help as much as they can. But a carriage with fancy horses, you get the sense that had they seen it, they'd probably be talking about it,
Yeah. Well, thank you for your time.
Yeah.
I'll
Sure.
trot on back to the group.
Alrighty.
Those two fellas have been out here for a couple of hours and they haven't seen anything, so we've gone too far.
Maybe they dumped the carriage somewhere and gone further on foot.
Maybe, but there's only so many places that you could dump a carriage like that.
True. What if the carriage was under a disguise?
Oh, then I think we're fucked.
Yeah.
Oh. Rook just like puts his head down and sort of like just puts his hands on his head like he's like trying to think. I mean, someone's got to have seen something.
There it is.
Hmm. Said fancy horses.
Fancy horses, well, fancy, like, like the carriage that Luxon picked us up in. I don't know if it was quite that fancy, but fancier than the normal carriages that people get taxied around in.
Hmm.
I will cast locate object again.
Okay.
Click it again.
In frustration, you send out your energy again, expanding your perception beyond your physical self. Still not picking up anything.
I don't imagine it'll be anywhere where. Probably behind closed doors.
Most likely.
Yeah.
What about underground?
I mean, this whole city is built on tunnels.
Mm-hmm.
If we're gonna go underground, we need somebody who knows the underground.
True. I mean, we do have a few options on that.
True.
Us, the goblin children.
Mhm.
For as far as I know things.
Feels like we need to make our way back to the guild then.
Yeah.
I don't have any confidence that if even we can contact Vayne, that he'll know where he is, but we should at least ask.
Mm-hmm.
And it might give us an insight as to whether this individual is hiding themselves from divination.
Yeah.
Alright. We're gonna be up late, but I think we should head back.
Yeah.
Too.
Do we think this quest that brought us this far out has anything to do with this, or whether or not it's just happenstance? It's
I'm
just
hoping it's happenstance, but I have a feeling this was a trap.
Me too.
then
The
I
amount
wonder,
of money laid out for it.
do you
It's
think
a
we
lot.
should head back to the inn, keep
I mean,
watching
but
one of the rooms, and then at least in the morning we'll be able to tell whether or not it was a trap or not?
Yeah,
'Cause
because they said they would meet us in the morning.
yeah, but the thing is too is that anyone could have taken that quest.
That is true.
It wasn't just like it showed up at our dorms. It just was there for anyone to take.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a lot of times you'll leave traps in the hopes of catching what you want. Doesn't mean they'll always pay out.
True.
Hmm.
And we can't run the risk that whoever does show up, if they are part of this, they might have some words to say. I mean, taking Vayne might have just been a way of getting us all to go wherever they are.
That is true.
So, because it'll take us too long to get back to the guild, if we head back to the inn now, we can still get up early enough to find out. And if not, then we can just head back to the guild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, let's do that.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know if you heard the car or not, but here we are.
Did not.
No.
Okay. So, you guys are heading back to the inn.
Back to the inn, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it's about another 2 hours to get back. It is in the wee hours of the morning now. By the time you eventually arrive. Although it shows it on the map, there aren't as many people about. Though you do see Brenar, the turtle chief, is still at the bar.
Hello again.
Oh, hello.
You wouldn't happen to remember anything about the individual that left that quest?
Like I said, they were young, scrawny, kind of cropped brown hair. Was very businesslike.
Hmm.
All right. Thank you.
Oh, no problem.
Rook will head upstairs.
Same.
Yeah.
I'll collect up any of Vayne's things that were left in the room and put them into the bag holding.
Grand. Yep. Easy enough to do. You're left standing in Vayne's room.
Is there anything of note of Vayne's that was left out that he doesn't have? Like, what would be defined as something on his person?
The
Like-
loot.
Like his coin pouch and like armor that he was wearing, he hadn't just shucked off just yet.
Okay. Was he wearing his hat?
He would have been, I think. Yeah.
That's alright.
Miss Vayne took it off. That's a question for him. Did you leave it on like the bed?
It would have been on like the nightstand.
Oh, okay. Hat's on the nightstand.
Well, hats. Some kind of stand.
I'll take it anyway to make sure we have it. I'll just say to the rest of the group, I'm just going to collect up Vayne's things so that we can give him back when we find him. His hat was also there, so perhaps if we need to come up with a somewhat conniving plan, it will aid us in that.
Yeah.
Okay. So you gather around in your rooms. What's the plan?
I think it's to try to get in a long rest before the morning and try to be up in time for whoever's meant to come about this quest.
Mm-hmm.
And if no one
Yeah.
does, then head to the guild.
Alrighty. So, uneasily, you'll bed down for the night. With the intrusion, there is a lot of tossing and turning, and waking up at the odd sounds from just the age of the building creaking. Fearful that it's someone stepping into your rooms. But eventually, you do all find rest. But, one long rest later, you'll wake up the next morning.
Goodbye, temporary hit points.
I hardly knew you. I should have just face planted into the ground when I jumped out the window.
Do I too get a long rest
No.
with my comfortable digs?
Could I have taken the opportunity to temporarily have attuned to the hat of disguise?
Certainly. I can give you over the hat now. I think everyone can see it, but just in case not. Oh, everyone can see it, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you come to, you walk down the next morning, see that the place is a lot more empty, as you'd expect. There's a couple of older gentlemen here. They're getting their grub in before they can head out to the docks. It looks like they're going to work.
Does it look like this place serves breakfast?
It certainly does. Oh, good morning.
Good morning. I don't suppose the quest givers, whatever they're called, the clients that said to wait the night, have appeared this morning yet?
Not that I've seen. I can get you food, though, if you want.
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Alrighty. Be out to you shortly.
Thank you very much.
You see this turtle slowly hobbles back into the kitchen.
I don't suppose anyone's had any revelations throughout the night on how we can solve this efficiently.
Buckley.
No. Well, it was 20 minutes and traveling by cart. But now it's hours. You could be anywhere in the city.
Yeah.
Maybe we could ask Vayne's scrying friend. I don't know how much she could tell us, though.
Maybe. Either that or ask the twins at the guild.
Yes.
Perhaps we can get some insight that way. However, I get the sinking sensation that if the item they were looking for was hidden by divination by Tserik, then perhaps they've got a method of doing it to themselves. We should have kept a better eye out.
We'd have probably gone for a buddy system. Not separate rooms.
I was gonna go in, I just...
Yeah,
it
I know.
took too long.
It happened. We couldn't have known. I mean, Vayne himself didn't even know.
But we knew someone was going to have it out for Vayne.
Mm-hmm.
We should have been more careful.
Yeah.
While this is happening, we'll jump over to Vayne for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Oh boy.
Hello.
Hello. So, Vayne, very groggily, Your head stirs. Your body feels completely just stiff and achy. You're sat up, but you're slumped forward at the same time. Your arms bound behind you and behind the wooden back of a chair. You lift your head. The crane in your neck is very painful. Unable to see too far ahead of you, even with your dark vision.
Oh,
Did you hear off to your left? So good of you to join me.
where am I?
You needn't worry, Vayne. You're in our care.
Can I, like, judge where the voice is coming from?
Yeah, it's to your left.
Or, like, distance-wise?
15 feet?
Okay. Can I look in that direction at all?
Mm-hmm. You see someone is sat in a chair. Not in your direction, but almost like looking past. One leg crossed over the other. With your dark vision, it's hard to distinguish color, but you can just very faintly make out the bluish coloration of this person's skin. Hood has been thrown back from their cloak. And they seem to be reading from a book.
Is it the diary? The
Tell me.
return of the diary.
Tell me, Vayne.
Mm-hmm.
Are you the particular author and illustrator of this book?
Which book?
They hold up the book to you and kind of turn it, and you do see a couple of loose pages filter out. One, like, slides across the floor towards your feet, and you see just smut.
Oh, no, that's something I've been meaning to return. I just haven't got around to it yet.
That's unfortunate.
Who are you? You the Tserik person? Tserik?
Tserik. It might be the last name out of your mouth, so it might be good to get it right.
Well, I have been hit in the head with a frying pan, you see.
Not how I would have done it, but each their own.
So it wasn't you that hit me.
Of course not. I'm a bit too high up at this point to be doing the dirty work myself.
Don't like getting your hands dirty, I see.
Not unless necessary. Though you certainly seem to be of the same line of thought. You sent your friend to collect the money. That was to free me.
I didn't technically send him. He did it out of the good of his own heart.
That's even
And
worse.
because your friend was trying to steal our money. The money was never for you, Presley. For you.
Oh, Vayne. You still don't get it, do you?
Get what? You killed him.
The money was most certainly to have me released.
You don't deserve to be released.
Oh dear. He walks over to you and lifts you up by the chin. Tell me, are you going to be good? Until your friends arrive?
Vayne looks angrily at him and doesn't say anything. Just kind of pouts, yeah, I guess is the right word.
It's a large, wide smile. You see teeth that seem to almost shift in shape inside the mouth. Unnervingly, Vorky drops her head and walks back to where he was sitting. You hear the flicking and turning of more book pages again. And we'll jump back to you guys. So, we'll
Rook,
sat for breakfast.
Rook uses the hat of disguise to make himself look like himself.
Okay. So you look like Rook.
Yeah.
Okay. Bernard eventually returns with your egg grits and bacon. A few slices of cooked tomato as well.
Hey, could I get a portion to go as well?
Sure, if you don't mind extra on the tab.
That's fine.
Alrighty, I could do that. Alright. Pushes himself up again and slowly walks back into the kitchen.
I'd recommend you all eat up. I feel like today's going to be a long day.
Yeah.
Most likely.
Here you go, sir.
Thank you.
Because there's a little cardboard-esque and waxed paper parcel for you.
I'll put it into the fanny pack of holding.
Mm-hmm.
How much will all that be?
We'll say 6 copper for the lot.
Oh, sure, here.
Thank you.
Right, I suppose we should give it a bit of time to see if this lot shows up.
Mm-hmm.
If not, then we head back to the guild.
Agreed.
I'm gonna look around the room. You said there was like sailors before they head off in the morning, but I want to see if there's anyone that's just keeping their eyes on us, or that might have just that might be just taking their appearance.
Give me a perception check, please. Very nice. So you're looking about, like the sailors over here are giving you all looks.
Sure.
But
is that normal racist looks, or?
they seem to be of interest and not racist necessarily.
All right.
That being said, I should specify, again, mostly human here.
Mm-hmm.
What would you like to do?
How long has it been now since we got up?
Say about half an hour to 45 minutes. Nobody who fits the description of the gentleman that Bernard gave you has come in.
Rook will wait out the last 15 minutes up to the hour, and if still no one has arrived, then he'll get up and get ready to leave.
Mm-hmm.
Those tense few minutes pass, and looks like they're a no-show.
Well, I guess that answers that.
Yeah. Let's go back to the guild.
Yeah.
Head out and start making our way down.
Mm-hmm.
Righty. Yeah, from there it's easy enough to catch a carriage. You're very close to the outer ring road. So, yeah. Managed to catch a carriage back to the guild. It's roughly about a 2-hour journey. Is there anything you want to do in that time? Any prep or anything like that?
We'll have to send a message to Luxon. Maybe even.
Well, if we're heading there now, I could send a bird ahead of us. If we wanted to.
True.
Do we want to? I could write a note for Clark that just asks Clark to send me a message. And then I can reply to his message by asking him to send Vayne a message and then send a message to me with his response.
I will say, just pointing out, by the time that you get close enough where you can send your bird out, it'll take the bird 2 hours to travel. More than likely, you would get there before.
We would go. We would. That is an interesting.
Sorry, I just thought I'd point that out.
Yeah, that's wibbly
Wobbly, timey-wimey.
timey-wimey magic horse.
Bullshit.
Yeah. All right. Well, scratch that idea, I suppose.
Rook, of course, came up with all this by himself.
Yeah, just looking out the window, seeing how fast we're actually moving.
Yeah. No, that wouldn't work.
This doesn't make any sense. I don't think I've got any prep I can do. I mean, other than, I guess, when we're an hour into the journey, I could summon a little pocket falcon, and then I could use the last hour of the journey to get back that wild ship.
Okay. Certainly.
So I've got. By the time we get off, I'll have an hour of a falcon for whatever value that has.
Sure. Okay. It's not long before you all arrive at the guild. Bit strange arriving past the gates without your purple friend with you.
There he is!
No, he's not.
He is here.
Dead! Kill him! To death with him!
God, I knew you didn't like Vayne. Yeah, it's just going to. Do you want to say something to Clark? Kato.
Yeah. Clark, you should send a message to Luxon and perhaps Lady Alvis that our friend Vayne Durant is missing. Likely taken.
Certainly. 1 moment, please. Lady Alvis has asked that you speak with Lumedi. She might be able to help. And Luxon said, whirring from inside. Whoops.
Hey, clerk.
Yes.
If someone responds to your message, do they have to, like, say it out loud verbally?
Yes, they do.
Okay. Could you send Vayne a message saying, "Are you alright?" Cough once for yes, twice for no. And by alright, I mean, like, alive.
Very
Wow.
well. One moment, please. Vayne, inside your head you hear, "Hello, Vayne de Ronde. Rook would like to know if you are okay. Please cough once for yes or twice for no. And by alright he means alive or not." Was that one or two?
It was one.
Oh,
Oh no, he's dead. He coughed twice.
Well, he coughed. Was that once or twice? I'm sorry, I'm confused.
It was once.
Once.
It was once. I did it again because
You
you
went.
asked. Yeah, so
That's
technically, I coughed.
Oh. The king is dead.
I'm stuck in a sewer. Oh.
Oh my god.
And my house is on fire. Oh.
Holy shit.
You see,
No, that's
Clark
right. It was a real cough. They're smoking that.
Clark's head starts spinning on the axis, going.
No. We were never here.
Okay. He said, and from inside the chest.
I'm gonna take that as one.
I was waiting for him to be like, "Oh no, there was two."
Okay. Can you send Vayne another message that says, if he is alone in the room, if there's other people with him where he is at the moment, then to respond by coughing. If he's alone, then he can just speak. It's fine.
Very well. One moment, please. Hello, Vayne de Ronde. One moment, please, he says, turning back to you, Rook. Please cough once if there is someone in the room or area you are in with you, or speak if you are by yourself. He said,
Okay, well then we can't really ask him where he is, because if he starts speaking out loud, then they'll know.
Yeah. Well, he's alive, so that counts for something.
Hmm. Who was it that Lady Elvis said we should get in contact with?
I believe it was Numedi.
Numedi.
Yes.
Could you send them a message and say that we need to speak with them urgently?
Certainly. One moment, please. They said she is available for you to meet with her inside the guild proper.
All right. Shall we head in now then?
Yeah.
Thank you for your help, Clark.
No problem. Happy to help.
Clerk,
Oh,
would also like to let you know that no one showed up for the quest.
Oh dear.
did they like put a down payment on it, or was it like money upon completion?
It was money upon completion.
Ah, well, that's how they get you.
Mm-hmm.
Just for your own knowledge, Clark, in case you didn't get it from the message we sent earlier, Vayne has in fact been kidnapped, so if you want to check in with him every now and then just to see how he's doing, by all means,
Very well, I can do that for you.
give us an update if anything changes.
Will do.
I'm gonna peter on inside.
Already. You head on up the steps. The large arched double doors open for you. Inside you see the statues on either side. And Rook, you've seen this before, but this is the first time for Roshana and Kato. Between the statues on either side of the walls, for the first time from walking down this hall, you see doors that weren't there before. And Rook
That's new.
Rook leads down the hallway, eventually turning to his left. And you see a door that has the word Lumedi written above it.
Knock on the door.
Yes, enter.
Hi, yes, it's us.
Oh, yes, hello.
Yeah, so Vayne has been kidnapped.
I'm sorry, I'm not good with faces.
This guy, and I'll flick my fingers and turn into Vayne.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yeah, I'll turn back to looking like me. Yeah, we went on a quest up north, and he was kidnapped out of the room we were staying in.
Alright.
We were told you could help
Mm.
by Lady Elvis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Follow me, please. And she stands up from her wooden workbench, which is just covered with little cogs and gadgets and gadgets. She stands up and walks over to the left. And you follow her on past to another door, which she opens. You see a set of steps descending. Follow me, please.
Right behind you.
You have to be careful not to step on her silver tail as you're walking down. But eventually she reaches this large, what looks to be like a steel wrought door. She begins turning dials and whatnot. You hear a whirring and almost like a whistling sound coming from inside before eventually it open and this heavy door just slowly moves over to the side. And inside you see a large white room that has been covered floor to ceiling with different hooks with what look to be like rings. Some of them are glowing, some of them not. The same gold guild rings that you have on your fingers now. You haven't got the insignia on your rings yet, no?
No. Still ironing out the details.
Right. It'll take me a few moments. Please, please don't touch anything. Just stand and wait. She walks over to
Of course.
This large, hefty tome that she pulls over and puts on a what looks to be like a comparatively small podium. She floomps the book open, begins pouring through all the different what looks to be like numbers assigned to people's names. Durand, was it?
Yes.
Yes, I have it here. Number 137628-4. If you could find that number on the wall, it would be very helpful, please.
What was it? 127.
Yeah, 1376284.
I'll start looking.
And she does too, pulls down these half-moon spectacles on top of the bridge of her snout.
I have my falcon help.
Okay, just give me an investigation check with advantage, please.
Excellent. I knew this falcon would come in handy for something.
Yeah, it takes you about just a few minutes before you spot it, and you see that the ring itself seems to be glowing.
Over here.
Oh, yes. And you see she pulls out one of those, those sliding ladders.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't quite touch the wall as to not disturb the rings that are placed up on the hooks, but she slides it over, climbs up, and unhooks the ring from the wall. Clambers down the ladder. She goes, well, it is glowing, so he's very much still alive. This ring is tied with the essence with the ring that he is wearing currently.
Okay.
It can be used to track.
By what means?
Yeah, certain divination spells can be used to find a person or their belongings.
And how does having this object alter it? The spell, that is.
It's more likely to work. There's always an element of chance with that
Okay,
divination magics.
So we would need to bring this to someone with
I'm afraid this
with-
cannot leave the room. If you could have someone come here, we could certainly do that for you. But I mean, this is what the guild does, but if you have an object of that person, that can work just as well.
Okay, we've got a couple of his things.
Alright.
Is there any diviners within the guild that would be able to help?
They often come with quite the price. I know there are 2 diviners with Gilmore, but they are quite difficult to nab.
I mean, we could follow up on your idea, Kato, of trying to find Vayne's friend.
Yes.
I don't know how difficult that would be. I guess we could also head to the temple district.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that?
Well, some of the priestess there have been able to show things before.
True. Okay.
I don't know who would be the best to speak to.
We're clueless with you.
We could probably start with Vayne's friend. Probably have a stronger connection. Might get something more out of it.
Do either of you remember her name?
Blank look.
Was it? I don't know. I can't think.
You can give me a history check with disadvantage.
Sure. Can I guide myself?
Sure.
Yay!
Oh my god.
Not with that many.
Yeah, it's not my day today.
Rook, you believe her name was Larima?
Say that. Could you type that out?
Larima.
Larima. And was she running with the circus?
She was with the caravan.
The caravan. Well, no, sorry. She was with the caravan with Vayne, but did
Yeah.
she move to the circus after?
No,
Or-
you're thinking
or
of
was it
the twins.
Yeah,
thinking
those
of
were
the twins? Okay. Was Larima in the guild at all?
No,
No.
she was. Again, I need to find the map. Let's see.
I was looking through my session notes, but I have nothing.
Hmm. I think it was the Adventurers District.
The Arcane District.
Yeah.
Near Brunston Square.
Yep, exactly.
All right, let's go find Clerk.
Yes.
Thanks for putting up with this, Ray.
Won't always be this nice. Okay. You head. I'm assuming you say goodbye to Lamedi and head on out.
No,
Yeah.
we're in a hurry. Our friend has been kidnapped.
Oh, okay. Alright.
Sorry, bye. Made me feel bad.
Good day.
Yeah, run up to Clerk and ask for a cart to the Arcane District.
No, certainly. One moment, please. A couple of minutes pass and eventually carriage arrives for you.
All right, jump on in.
Mm-hmm.
Brunston Square, please. Arcane District.
Alrighty.
Any idea how long that'll take?
Let me check for you just now. Can't remember the exact point. I think it was around here somewhere. Just over 2 hours.
Okay. Just out of curiosity, within the bag of stuff of Vayne's belongings, can I search through it to see if the note that he was given that had her address on it was still in there?
It should still be, yeah. I can give it to you now.
Sure, yes, please. I'll start scanning through.
Yep. Am I okay to read it out, Vayne, or would you like to?
Sorry. If you've got it to hand, I'm just through. I can't remember which session.
I mean, I have it on roll 20, so it's.
Oh yeah, you.
It reads, Dearest Mama and Papa, I hope this letter finds you well and that you're both healthy and happy. I miss you both so much. I'm feeling very lost with myself at the moment, and wish I could have your guiding hands to rely on throughout these difficult days. When arriving in Clancamrye, the caravan was seized, and we were all arrested. I still not know why, but the caravan owner, Sinnamonroll, appears to have had some kind of debt here, which I've been tasked with paying off, though news came out today that he's to be hanged soon. I was invited to join the local adventurers guild, not really by choice, but as a way to help pay off Montagor's debt, while he stayed within the cells. I've met 3 fellow young adventurers that I've been doing tasks around the city with. They're a good bunch, though I fear I am still ill-suited to being called their companion. It seems every action I make brings naught but grief, but I am trying. The 3 that I'm doing these tasks with are all much more equipped for this kind of life. I feel I'm just floundering and holding them back. But I will continue, hopefully, learning from my missteps. I hope Papa is keeping well, and making sure to rest as much as he can. I've been asking around everywhere I've been for any knowledge or potions that may help ease the strain or cure. But so far, haven't come across much that we don't already know or haven't already tried. I truly wish I could hug you both and spend a day just doing our usual daily life, perhaps when I return. Please take care of each other, and if you would like to reply, I'm staying at the Adventurers Guild in Clancamrye, so send a message there. I'm sure it'll find its way to me. I miss you all. Give Dilly a scratch for me, Mama. He'd never let me give him one anyway. Kindest and most loving regards, yours, Edmund.
Where the hell is Edmund?
Hmm.
Well, I think I just invaded some privacy.
This won't be the first time.
I mean,
But when did I do it before?
Well, not you specifically.
I mean,
Kind of the
so-
party at large with,
Yeah,
diary.
Oh, yeah. And for the greater good.
yeah.
I'm not sure she would be so inclined to agree.
Well, at the very least, we can take solace in knowing she moves on quick.
Dude, that was fucking savage.
If history is to show anything. Yeah, I mean, having read this letter doesn't make having lost Vayne any easier. Puts back in bag.
Mm,
Looks to see if there's any else. Wasn't Vayne given a letter from the twins after we got the hat?
No, I don't believe so. Oh no, they were given the address.
Yes.
But it literally just said Brunson Square.
Oh, okay. Well, now that that's been confirmed, now that my own my own ideas have been validated. Onward.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's not long before eventually you arrive in a familiar-looking brownstone square. The fountain in the center, as you see, people are kind of just milling about right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe you were here for that session, actually, Rook. Up, I remember.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Yeah, you weren't.
I remember I was here for
Mm.
getting the hat.
Interesting. Yeah. From the orientation of the Brunson Square?
Brunston, yep.
Okay. Can I try and locate locate the house that we were taken to? I know it was in an alley.
Yeah, it doesn't take you long before you find it again. It's just, it's not a familiar place to you, so you do have to like go around the entirety of the square to figure out what the alley is. But yeah, you do find it, and you see the familiar row of houses, and you find the one you think is Lyrima's.
Go up and knock.
Yeah, and before you knock, the door opens.
Good morning.
Good morning. Inside, you see a elven individual, long brown hair that has been braided in places and pretty much just kept back away from the face. A couple of tattoos on the face as well in this bluish color. Please take a seat. You're here to find
So you
Vayne?
know.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. When did you learn?
Only this morning.
Hmm.
Would you take some tea?
Is
Sure.
it necessary?
Please,
It can help.
please.
It's
Alright.
been a stressful handful of hours.
Mm-hmm.
And she pulls the kettle that has just come off the stove and pours into a small teapot the boiling water. Lets it steep for a few minutes in complete silence as she's looking out at the rest of you. Before eventually she pours 3 cups of rosehip tea into these little porcelain china cups before you.
Have you looked at all, or just waited for us?
I know Vayne, but it would be helpful to have something of his.
Well, I've got a couple of things, and I'll pull out his bag of stuff.
When he was taken, most of his effects were left in his room.
Mm-hmm.
So feel free to take your pick.
All right. She begins sifting through all the different things within the bag. You
Perhaps
might want to have hold of this, and she hands one of you a potion of healing from the bag.
Hold on.
smart.
Does that reappear here? Did you use this much?
A handful of times.
Perhaps this letter would be is the object hurt at all in this process?
It shouldn't be, no.
This letter he wrote to his parents.
That would work.
I'm not sure if you can get any more.
She extends
Attached.
a hand to receive
Oh.
the letter.
Hand it over.
Thank you. Give me a few moments, please. She just begins sipping from the tea.
Is there any, like, from her general body language, is there any abundance of concern? Or does it look like she's, like, fighting that back to maintain her composure for the sake of doing what she's doing?
Give me an insight check, please. Yeah, she's a.
We're not doing spectacular.
Not today.
Oh my god.
She's quite a strange individual. Not entirely sure where the thread lies with this one.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to get a read.
Rook's starting to get a little bit agitated.
Mm. Does he show it?
No, he's got an illusion on that makes him look like himself, but not looking agitated.
Wow.
Just stone face.
I'm angry, Bendy.
So wait, every time you're saying something, does your mouth move or does it stay stone face?
No, the mouth moves. It's just there's certain limitations in place.
Gosh.
Yeah. After about 5 minutes or so of sipping the tea, Silverima places the fine china cup back down in its saucer with a clink. She closes her eyes for just a moment before they open up again, and it is just pure white across her eyes, almost glowing. North of here. Northeast.
In the eastern district.
Yes.
Rook will go into his fanny pack and pull out the map of the districts.
Mm-hmm. I'm crossing many rivers, many houses. It's in a warehouse by the sea. Beneath the ground. He sat on a chair.
This warehouse, is there a name?
I cannot see. There's someone with him.
Tserik.
You see her eyes come back into focus again. You see the irises and the pupil. She slams her hands down onto the table. Sorry, there wasn't much to draw off of.
It's a start.
More than we've had before.
Do you remember any other details about this warehouse?
There were ships about hulls, unfinished.
So it was a shipyard.
Quite possibly, yes.
Is there any distinguishing marks about the unfinished ships?
No.
Any
They are,
colors?
Did
they are
we
merely in the process of being gathered, I believed.
did we pass any shipyards last night when we were making our way up the North Road?
You were by the King's shipyard. This one here.
I was thinking
But
that too.
The King. Okay.
Because isn't that the same shipyard where we?
But it was further up this road that the inn was at, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And the tracks that we followed, we thought they went north.
Yep. So up this way.
And we didn't see any other shipyards up this direction.
Nope.
Are these anchors on the map? Are they shipyards or are they like docks?
They are shipyards.
Okay.
The docks are
I
the...
think the
Oh, they're
rectangles.
Yeah.
yeah, the ones that look like piers.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, it has to be that. We must have gotten turned around, or maybe they turned into an alley and turned down another one of the streets to throw us off.
Possibility. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
We should go take a look there.
Yes.
We should. Thank
Thank
you
you.
for your help.
I hope you find him.
We should say, just for your own benefit, Vayne had told us that you had trouble looking in at Montagore at some stage, and he had felt cold for a while. He was already dead. All right, bye.
Good day.
Just drop that like that.
Wow.
We're in a hurry.
I mean, yes, but
She didn't seem phased.
Still. Yes, oh yeah, by the way, Montecore's dead. Alright, bye.
the other person that was in the room with us, basically, because there was another person, right? Besides the lady.
No, it's just her.
Oh, okay.
There's another person in the room with Vayne, is what she told you.
Ah.
And he already knows.
Mhm.
Okay.
As we're out the door. Sounds like we still got a way to travel.
Mhm.
So do you guys think Vayne's real name is Edmund?
Probably.
Kind of a dorky name.
We can
I
ask
thought
him.
that would be his name, but
Trying to stifle a laugh.
But you see, it's what's worse, that his real name is Edmund or that he chose Vayne.
I'm questioning if his parents call him Eddie.
To any Edmonds out there, we're so sorry.
Well, we can ask
I
him.
wonder if Vayne's feeling feeling annoyed right now for some reason.
That's funny. Yeah, let's jump over to Vayne for a second.
I feel someone's making fun of me right now.
Aren't you?
Vayne, the back of your ears are becoming very, very hot. Has he gone to make a cup of tea?
He might have.
Yep. Heard you idiots and went, oh my god!
Sorry, I'm here. Sorry. Right, okay. I'm back. Vayne's just gently weeping.
Oh my god!
Just a single tear.
Yeah. How long do you think it'll take your friends to join us?
Well, I mean, if you just told them where you were, that'd speed things up, probably.
There's no fun in that.
Hmm. Well, in which case, how long have I been here?
He just smiles.
They'll be here, I'm sure. I trust them.
Do you?
Yes.
Do they trust you?
I like to think so.
If I were them, I wouldn't.
Oh. Don't be stupid. You won't have to worry about that too much longer.
Yeah, of course, I'm
And
going to
Vayne
kill them
shoots him
before
like
you.
We'll kill you before you have a chance.
Hardly.
Hardly. I mimic him.
Which one of them was it that went to take the money off of Diasamon?
Why does it matter?
A grin crawls across his face. You know, I'm only asking you as a formality. I can already see it in your mind.
I gathered as much.
You see his form begins to shift into the shorter, squatter version of Rook. Sat in a chair, leg crossed over the other, still with the smutty book in his hand.
If you really wanted to be convincing, you should scream at stars or raccoon.
How odd.
Yes.
Then again, you were always an odd fellow.
And how long exactly have you been stalking me, shall we say?
Been with the caravan now a couple of months. I have to say, it was a bit of good luck. I was down on mine. And then your tubby little caravan master made to set up stall.
Vayne, like, snarls at Tserik. Can I, while this conversation is happening, can I use words of terror as we're talking?
Sure, put up.
Hang on. It's loading. Then it's D20. Yeah, I see it. Cool. Go. Come on. Why is it? Oh, there. Eh.
Okay.
Just want to freak him out.
Yeah, as you're speaking to him, you creep forward with your mind.
Can yeah, sorry, carry on.
You creep forward with your mind, imbuing the sense of fear and terror on all the instinctual emotions as you can, piercing towards his mind, but it doesn't take. So yes, it was easy to wrap up his tiny little legs and throw him into the back of the caravan.
Well, you said it was good luck, but it's going to bring your death. I guess it is good luck. And he was innocent, bastard.
I heard he had his moments.
It had nothing to do with your exile from the Blades. That was all you're doing.
You have been talking, haven't you? No.
It's
From
what
what I
I do
remember,
well.
little Monty had a reason to leave Clancamrye as well.
Yes, but he's not a murderer.
That you know of.
You won't change my mind about it. And you won't change my mind about you, piece of shit.
I'm not here to change your mind, Vayne. I'm here to make things worse.
Well, things will get worse for you very soon when I cast Vicious Mockery!
Okay, go for it.
Dragon Ball Z! Max damage!
He smiles again and stands up from his seat, reverting back to this blue, almost alien-like form. Pulls a rag out from behind his belt.
Just before he does, I'm gonna guess what he's gonna do. I'll kind of grin at him and say, "You should be scared."
I'm rattling in my boots. And he wraps the rag against your teeth until eventually it is caught at the corners of your jaw. Ties it behind your head. And we'll jump back to the other guys.
Come on, guys, I've pissed him off.
That's not our doing.
Guys, help me! I pissed him off.
Yeah.
He's
Sorry, guys.
sufficiently
I got it really,
antagonized.
I got it really riled up for you.
Over the time it takes us to travel, do I get an update from Clark at any point about the condition of Vayne?
No,
Okay.
not yet.
Mine just occurred to me. What was the number code you had set up with Vayne?
It doesn't really matter.
Why?
Because if I ask him what the code is while thinking about it, it doesn't matter. We already learned from the library that that they can like read surface thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, we can't ask him a question while knowing what the answer is. But we'll figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Just use our gut feeling then.
Yeah. Can ask him what his name is.
Vayne,
What
you
is
don't
your real
die.
name?
Yeah.
Oh man, we can't let Vayne know we violated his privacy.
It was an accident. Yeah, I think we're running. We're
Mm-hmm.
driving. We're going as fast as those horses' little legs can take us.
Okay. After about 2-ish, 3-ish hours, you eventually arrive at the King's Shipyard in the Eastern Quarter. You hop on out. You see numerous ships are currently being repaired here. Or maintained. What would you like to do?
Large warehouse.
Are there many warehouses in front of us?
Give me a perception
Oh,
check,
I'm sure. Let's see. Will I get above a 10?
Oh my god.
Well,
Oh,
the two of you
must be nice.
the two of you looking around, you see that there aren't many warehouses. No. There's small buildings where a couple of things are being stored, but they are like packed up to the top of the timber and the like, and things that the carpenters need to keep the ships in tip-top shape.
Okay. Are there many individuals around at the moment?
Oh, there are. Yeah, they're busy working right now.
I don't suppose with that 24 perception I spot a black carriage through
No.
fancy horses
No.
outside a warehouse.
No.
Okay, well I guess I'm gonna start walking towards the nearest warehouse.
Same.
You walk over to one of the timber piles and you see someone is currently there. Larger half-orc gentleman is currently pulling at one of the long pieces of timber. Can I help you?
Mm-hmm. I'm just curious, I'm new to the city. Are all these warehouses like used for building ships?
Yep.
Are there any like that aren't used at the moment? Because like this is a lot of warehouses and little buildings.
Well, they're not really warehouses, just where we keep the timber and the materials to keep them dry before we, fix the ship.
Okay. And what happens if water does get in? Is there like a drain?
Yeah, small one. Yeah.
And what is it? Does it just drain it outside the building, or does it go into the sewers?
Yeah.
I hear this place has like a sewer system. That's strange.
Oh, it goes straight into the ocean.
Do you mind if I have a look?
Be my guest.
Thank you. I'll flick him a silver.
And you walk past him, and you see that this building literally is top to toe. Aside from the little bit of timber that he's pulled out, is pretty much chalked.
Okay, so there wouldn't be any room here to carry a body through.
No.
All right. Are there any from the main dock area? Are there any like large-ish buildings on like the edge of the docks?
There is one, yeah, which looks to be more official. And every now and then you do see captains and bowsmen and the like are walking in and out.
Are there like partly built ships behind it?
No, not there. Like, all the ships that are here seem to be finished and in use. They're just being maintained here.
Okay. Can we follow the coast until we see an area where there are unfinished ships?
Yeah. And you get about, like, out to here. Hopefully it pings. A bit further north. And you do see a couple of ships are currently in the process of being put into shape.
The buildings out here, do they classify more like big warehouses?
No, they're quite small.
No, it's still quite small. And do the so this is like where they start to look like they're still being built. How far up does this continue?
It continues on about until this little crook here. You see there's quite a small little light that has been left, like a lantern of some kind, much larger than the lanterns that you see throughout the city. Not quite the size of a lighthouse, just a small lantern to guide people in when they're ferrying their boats. And the shipbuilding kind of stops there.
Right. Are there any buildings like what we're looking for further on up? Like
Doesn't
up
look
that
to
far?
be. No.
So the only warehouse looking like building is the one that has the captains and stuff coming out of it.
That doesn't look like warehouses. Like I
just
said,
a-
it's an official building. It's the most building-looking building, if that makes
Okay.
sense.
Okay. Either of you have any ideas?
Hmm. I'm thinking about the cart. I would have had to move it somewhere.
No, that is unless the cart was just hired out and they
Mm-hmm.
had left to go do other rounds after.
Carrying a body?
That doesn't say you can't pay off a carriage driver. Can look the other way for an evening.
True.
He could be in any one of these warehouses. Does it look like the dock workers are, well, working?
Yep.
So it'd be rather conspicuous if someone was taking supplies out of these warehouses only to find an interrogation scene.
Well, it's underground in this area.
Well, perhaps we should start the drain system. Maybe
Oh,
find
boy.
some just like old times, eh, Roshana?
Hmm.
Maybe find some sort of entrance to the drain system.
So what we were told from the divination was far to the north, past over many rivers, there was a shipyard. There was a warehouse with half-made ships behind it, and then it was beneath that. Is that correct?
Well, there
Uh,
was a warehouse which looked like it was a shipyard
Hmm.
because there were many unfinished ships outside.
But up this coast, it just looks like there's a number of ships being worked on at the moment. But it's mainly smaller, like roofed areas.
Yeah,
for...
smaller storage buildings, but not warehouses that people are going in and out of. No.
And what about on the other side of the road here? Is there any large buildings like that, like a warehouse?
Give me a perception check, please.
Guidance that up.
Down this road, they seem to be mostly bars and taverns. There's a couple of inns as well for a couple of the sailors who are coming off the sea to have a bed for the night, but it's mostly commercial.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And what's going on at the other side, like across the way here?
Seems to be similar, but it stops like just the little kink here.
Okay. And what are the buildings like over there? Are there more of the little roofed ones?
Yeah, pretty much. A little bit more residential on that side.
So there was a warehouse that looks like a shipyard. Is there any building that looks like it'd be large enough to accommodate a ship?
No buildings. They seem to be like half-roofed areas for like ships to come in, for people to work on
Mhm.
them. But there's no like full-on buildings.
But just for our own benefit, the divination that we were given, did she specify whether it was a building or whether it was some kind of warehouse?
It's a
Like could one?
it's like a warehouse building. That's the only way I can describe it.
Like a dry dock.
It's made to store things. A large
Right.
one, and there are hulls outside.
And we don't see anything that fits that description
No,
on this coast.
not here. No.
Okay. Then perhaps we should head north to the pier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get back in the cart and have them head north.
Already? Yeah. After about 15 or so minutes, you eventually arrive back at that same dock that you were at the night before.
Yeah, do the same scan of the area,
Mhm.
see if there's anything that fits that description.
Give me a perception check, please.
Guidance.
Oh, come on.
Again, nothing like that here. Again, it's smaller buildings meant to open up to be able to fix ships and the like.
Well, I guess what we continue up this top, or we continue along the coast. Keep an eye out as we go.
Perfect plan.
Do that then.
Alrighty. Taking the cart, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you drive for another 40 minutes or so before eventually you see a large warehouse.
Right.
With hulls
Ship.
outside of it.
Excellent. If only we continued walking up the road. Is there anyone outside this warehouse?
There's a few people, yeah. Currently working.
Currently working?
Yep.
The cart that we came up with, the guild cart, is it just like a regular cart?
It's a carriage. Like
A carriage?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I keep saying cart, but I mean, like, it's like a regular
Yeah.
carriage that people would get taxied in. It's nothing.
Yeah, exactly. It's nothing fancy.
Before we get out, Rook will use the seeming spell from the hat to make us look like a just a bunch of like dock workers.
Mhm.
You know, but maybe like dock workers that aren't working that day or that are just passing the area.
Okay. Grand.
Just in case there's anyone stationed outside.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Smart.
How long can you keep this up?
It's the hat. I think it lasts for a while.
I think it's seeming you're using for everyone,
Yeah,
isn't it?
it's-
Yeah, so
it's
it's 8
seeming.
hours.
Oh,
So everyone enjoy looking like a human, I guess.
What privileges.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess start making our way towards that building. Does it look like that building's in active use?
Oh yeah, definitely. This seems to be like where they keep the vast majority of the pieces for ships before they're like brought out and down towards the shipyard, rather than just keeping everything there and clogging up the area as such. You do see a couple of people are like carrying what looks to be like a large pole to be made into a mast as you walk towards the front of the warehouse itself. You see a gentleman there who looks to be more well dressed, and he seems to have like a clipboard or something in his hand, and he looks down his spectacles at you as you approach.
I'll nod and keep going.
Are you on duty today?
No, we forgot a couple of our personal belongings.
You do know you're not meant to leave anything in here, right? This is not a storage place for you, it's a storage place for the King's shipyard.
Well, that's why we're coming back on our off day.
Very well.
We'll be out of your hair very quickly.
Good. Hop to it.
Sort of head on in.
Yeah, and inside you see a large storehouse. It's the scent of timber, freshly cut, and paint that is filling your nostrils.
Okay, we need to be quick about finding this way down.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Can I keep an eye out for any sort of drain systems or I don't know how else to describe it.
I'm gonna keep an eye out for secret hatches.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
too.
Okay, everyone give me an investigation check then, please.
Oh, investigation. Oh,
I guide.
There, investigation.
Oh,
Finally. Oh
come
my
on, Kato.
God.
Alrighty, we'll jump back to Vayne for a second. Oh, excuse me.
No, you
Big
mean
stretch.
Big stretch.
Yeah. He can never know.
Oh, he will.
Roshana shows some restraint for once.
Yeah, learn to keep a secret.
Vayne, as you're sat down, you just hear this relentless tapping noise coming to your left. Coming from your left, sorry. Yeah. You know, for these supposed competent, brave, and strapping adventurers, you really are taking your time.
Are you in a rush to die? Sorry, hang on.
Surely you don't think I would invite them here, thinking that I would die. It's stupid, isn't it? Well, I could see how you would think that way. Honestly, you are just like Monty. He was an idiot too.
Vayne shoots.
Sorry?
Vayne shoots him a very sharp glance.
Though I suppose he did try to keep you all safe. For as long as he could, but it didn't take long to break him. He never really truly left you, you know. He was with us all the time.
Vayne kind of pulls against his restraints.
You should have heard him squeal. Little piggy that he was. Though I suppose you are right to blame me for his death. I did forget to feed him. And water him, and let him do his business. Rather bad pet owner, I am, really. But you know, Vayne, you really did show a lot of promise. It's unfortunate that seeing the big city has apparently made you a little bit gaggy in the head. I suppose I was like yourself when I was your age. Just wait for your friends now to come down.
And just really not enjoying it.
Though I wasn't really good friends with people here myself. Seems you were speaking to the Blades, as they call themselves. Can't really say that we were friends. No, I'm quite lucky in that I did have a few loyal followers. And around you, Vayne, you hear.
Vayne kind of glances around.
Mm-hmm. Give me a perception check with disadvantage, please. Yeah, you can hear numerous voices cackling and laughing, but you can't see them within the room. I have to say, though, I did look up to Luxon for quite some time. Trust him, though, to find out where I was as soon as I entered the city.
Glare at him, like squint glare.
I suppose the one good thing about coming back to the city and being caught is that at least I got to share the curse of being near him with you. He smiles in your direction.
Vayne thinks, yeah, and kind of rolls his eyes.
He's a gem. After I'm done with you lot, he's next on the list.
Hmm. Yeah, Vayne just kind of continues glaring at him, but like, yeah, was gagged. So,
Anything else you want to ask me, Vayne? I'll offer you this courtesy. We have been friends for so long, of course.
No. Vayne is kind of trying to ignore him as much as possible.
As they say, ignorance is bliss.
Again, just more eye movements towards him, like eye rolling and stuff.
You never learn.
You will soon.
Okay, and I think we're going to take a quick break here, guys. Give it 10 minutes.
Yeah, I'll try and fix
Oh
this. What do you think?
boy.
I don't know.
Telling you, Vayne, just 5 to 6 more hours. We'll have you.
Yep. Yep. It's all right.
You rest up, friend.
I've already
Yeah, I
asked
think
if
you
I
mean
get a long
Edmund?
rest, and I'm not allowed.
You can't take a
How do you
long
know
rest
that-
now. It has been long enough.
Okay, cool. How do you know his name's Edmund?
Well, at the very least, we know you're.
How do you know he's not just signing off in some other way? I don't know, like Croft or something.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Like maybe you're just like writing letters home for.
You cut off there.
Yeah, I was just saying. Maybe you're writing letters like home as someone else.
Maybe.
Maybe you're writing letters home for Edmund.
Maybe I'm adopted. After all that,
No.
maybe I am actually an orphan.
I don't know. That doesn't make any sense.
Because everything else makes so much sense.